You're good, Mr. Mayor.
Good evening, welcome, excuse me, welcome to the special meeting for the Township of Nipissing Council Vacancy Selection, December 19th, 2024. We will begin asking council if the disclosure for pecuniary interest. Seeing none, we will follow the appointment procedure for filling vacancy on council. I would like to thank the 6 candidates for putting their names forward for this important role in our community, and I wish you the best. We will draw the name of the first person to speak. You will have 5 minutes to address the council. Each member of council will then have the opportunity to ask you up to 2 questions. Everybody's familiar with it? So, Lisa, you're up.
How's everybody this evening?
Good.
Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. Nice to meet all of you and wish you all good luck. So I am truly honored to stand before you today as a candidate for the vacant council seat in our beautiful town. My name is Lisa. Just like you, this town is not just where I live, it is where my heart is. I may have only been here for just over 2 years, but I want the best for this place. I want the best for this community. My family has been so blessed to fit in. We have participated in the rec committee and the fire department and activities around town, and we have been so welcomed here, and I thank you for that. So first, let me take a moment to express my appreciation for all of your hard work and dedication that each of you brings to this council. I understand that it is not easy. This is not an easy job. I did not decide to run for this as there is just a vacancy to fill. I'm running because I believe this community's potential, and I believe we can grow without losing the qualities that make this town special. The strong sense of community, of connection to the environment, connection to our neighbors. My neighbors are always reaching out to help, to ask for help. And I love seeing the joy in all of the people who are celebrating our local traditions. And like any community, there are challenges ahead, and that's why I would like to be a part of the participation for that. I've always believed that leadership is about collaboration, and that's the approach I would like to bring to council. I know that each of us brings unique experiences, ideas, and expertise, and I'm committing to fostering a culture where we listen, respect, and build on each other's strengths. Together, we can find solutions that reflect the needs and values of this town, even if our viewpoints differ. So my priorities are simple. I want to build consensus. Council gets nothing done when you're in disagreement. Petty arguments aren't getting us anywhere. We bring different perspectives to the table, and I believe we can accomplish more when we work together, respect each other's opinions, and find common ground on issues. Transparency and accountability, that's a given. You were elected. I hope to be chosen to be a part of this committee. Our residents are trusting us to make decisions that are best for this community. We need to find financial balance and hold ourselves accountable for the decisions that we bring to our community. And I believe in progressive solutions. I will continue to advocate for forward-thinking solutions to the challenges our town faces, from supporting local businesses, improving infrastructure, and ensuring sustainability in the way that we progress. I believe these focuses, combined with my 10 years experience working with the municipality, gives me a strong basis to tackle some of our current issues. I worked for roads. I drove for roads up here my first winter. Horticulture, I beautified the streets of Hamilton, if that's even possible. The Parks Department I worked for, particularly as an investigator for 6 years, which provided me with a solid balance of understanding the issues of operating a municipality and finding that balance between making the residents happy, following a budget, and getting things done. I've worked on issues that are similar to the bridge, the rock, housing, staffing, and our landfill. I would like to be part of the solutions, and I think my perspective from working in a big city would be helpful to this council. This council is made up of individuals who obviously care deeply for this community and its future, and I'd be honored to be a part of this group. I believe we have a shared responsibility to preserve the spirit of this community while making thoughtful decisions for its continued well-being. So today, not only do I ask for your vote, but I ask for your trust. Together, we can ensure that our town stays strong and vibrant. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. So we're gonna start with Councillor Foot.
I think my question is, what do you think our biggest challenges over the next year and a half?
Well, the next year and a half is, part of it is gonna be having our hands tied for the last year of it. But our landfill's a big one. We need to start working with our community, and I've been in that dump. I've in the landfill. I've worked with the rec committee going through bottles and cans, and I think we need to work with people to understand that it's important that we need this landfill. It's gonna cost us a lot of money to close it. We need to work on recycling, composting, the 3 R's. Why wouldn't we have some sort of, what's the word for it, a little shop going inside the gate, so it's not a dumping ground, but where we can actually, instead of having scavenging, we can actually sell stuff. My husband was in the landfill the one time, there was a box of unopened mason jars. He couldn't scavenge it, that's the rules. We could have avoided putting that in our dump and crushing it, saving space. We need to be pushing these kinds of ideas. These are progressive ideas, not just simple. These are the things we need to discuss. We need to work with our townspeople. What helps them? How can you work with us? How do we make it work? How do we sell our constituents on understanding the importance of reducing, reusing, and recycling?
Thank you.
How would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style? I'm very much a collaborator. I'm very much a networker. I believe in listening to people. I believe that everybody brings something to the table. I mean, look at everybody at this table. You all have different backgrounds. We've all worked in different places. And if we work together to come united, and leadership's about fun and enjoying the company of each other. Again, like I said, collaboration with all of us and discussing and respecting each other's views. I might not agree with you, but I still respect you.
Thank you. Councillor Scott.
What would you consider your best asset for council?
Working with people. I've worked with you on rec committee. I think you see that I'm not afraid to walk up to a challenge. I've waitressed for many, many years. I don't have an issue with talking to anybody or working with anybody. Again, that's collaboration.
Thank you. Our township covers a large geographical area. How will you ensure that all areas in our community are included in the decision-making process?
My belief is that we need to get our township more involved in council and the community, not just rec committee. I believe that we need people, and I've been working with my neighbors to be a part of council. Have your voice spoken, because when I go to a job site or to a party and people want to complain about council, why are you complaining to me? I mean, unless I'm on council, but you actually need to make your voice heard. You need people to know your grievances, and maybe council is overlooked part of the answer. I believe in going to these communities and working with people around and bringing them together. Not just in a rec way, in a political way. Finding our common ground. It's not that big.
Thank you. Good.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Kyle McKenzie.
Well, I'm not as prepared as Lisa was. It's honestly my first time ever doing this. So I'm Kyle. Me and my family moved up here 2017. We lived in South River first. And we loved the area. And then we ended up moving from there to Bondfield, and then finally settled in Nipissing, and we're building our own family house here for the first time ever building a house as well. And I always try to get involved in the community any way I can. When I was in South River, I was on the fire department. And then when I was at Bondfield, I also ran for council. Didn't make that one. And I would like to see a few things different in the township. Like I'm on the furthest side of 522, which is ways away from the hub of Nipissing. So I just want to run, help the community, make everything better, and try my best to do what I can with my family and the community. I really don't have much else to say.
It's good, thank you. Councillor Curtin, questions?
So what do you see as the most pressing issue facing our community?
To be honest, I've only been in Nipissing since the end of June, so I don't know too much about the Nipissing, but I would like to know more and try to help with anything that can be done. And try to get some more work done out towards my way, because you don't see the crews out there that often.
Decide which question.
Councillor Scott will ask the next.
What committees would you be willing to sit on?
I'd be willing to sit on, I like the fire, because I was on the fire department in South River. I'd be willing to sit on that department. My wife actually is on the rec committee as well, right now.
Councillor Clark.
I know you haven't seen a lot. What's your vision?
My vision of
What's your vision of this township?
to keep it, my vision would be to keep it the nice community it is, not to try to outgrow it, like, no, I wouldn't say that. Not outgrow it, but like, keep it where the community gets together, has fun, no arguments, neighbors, you know, the old good old fashioned times.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing a lot of outside people moving in from different communities. How do we handle that? How do we manage that?
And
as
I
a
know
township?
one thing too would be like, my wife, for example, is trying, it's hard right now with my kids, they got hockey right now, so it's this time of year. But when we were in Bonneville, she had a soccer program for the kids and everything, and she's been talking with the rec committee about trying to start up a free program for the kids as well. Want to get the community together and have stuff that the kids are able to do.
My question goes along with what you're just saying. How do you plan on balancing the needs of economic growth with maintaining the character and the sustainability of our community?
Try to make everything work as well as grow, like to have like, try not to have too many, like keep, try to. You want to grow, but you don't want to grow like that it's overwhelming to the community. So it grows too fast that it gets itself into debt, and you want to kind of balance the budgets and keep things growing with what is coming into the community.
Thank you, Kyle. Lenny Brown.
Board here. So good evening. I'm just going to start by introducing myself, some of the skills I can bring to the council as a member. So my name is Melanie Brown, as Mayor Yell has mentioned. I am thrilled to announce my candidacy as a position of the council member for Nipissing Township. I have over 15 years of professional experience in asset management, business and finance, regulatory compliance, and policy development. And I am eager to bring my skills and dedication to this community. Throughout my career, I have honed my ability to navigate complex regulatory environments and ensure compliance with federal and provincial laws. My expertise in finance management, asset management, and policy development has equipped me to make informed and strategic decisions that benefit our township. I am passionate about fostering transparency, governance, and sustainable development in Nipissing Township. My By leveraging my extensive background in business and finance, I aim to promote sound financial practices and enhance overall prosperity for our community. I am committed to serving our township with integrity and dedication, and I look forward to the opportunity to make a positive impact. I am deeply invested in the well-being of our local and surrounding community. My family has been part of this area since the 1960s, the Brown and Ramsey family, and we cherish the strong sense of community and quality that it offers. I love hearing the stories of the family fun around the lake, the summer walks that just happen to end up at a neighbor's house or running into a neighbor down the road, and the friendly ways when we exchange when we pass someone on the road. That is what I feel is community that we need to keep and kind of pass on to the next generation. 8 years ago, my husband and I established our family here. We have 2 preteen daughters, which is fun. And we felt it was important to raise them in a community that values involvement, respect for neighbors, as well as collaboration. I now understand the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And I believe that the community spirit of Nipissing Township has embodied this for us. As our daughters grow, I believe it's important to give back to our community and to teach them that collaboration, sharing ideas, and lending a hand goes a long way, as well as the emphasis that it's better to give than to receive. This year, our family has become more involved, volunteer for community events, such as the Hospital Run Walk, and this Sunday we will be packing gift bags for the Santa Fund for those in need. We are committed to we are committed to contributing to our immediate community by instilling these communal values into our daughter, helping the future generation prosper and guide the future of this community. I want to show that as a middle-aged woman, you can be successful in business and family while also applying the skill set for the greater good and contributing to the community. It is evident that the Nipissing Township and its council members are committed to the community's growth and prosperity. Recent efforts to understand residents' needs and wants through the survey and event organization by the recreational committee has helped to build a stronger community and preserve our values in the future generations. I am committed to representing the interests and needs of all residents, including families like mine. A strong and inclusive community is built on active participation and representation of diverse demographic. My goals as a council member is to advocate for policies that enhance the quality of life for all residents, promote sustainability development, and ensure fiscal responsibility. I am dedicated to collaborating with fellow council members and local businesses to achieve these objectives. I'm excited about the opportunities to bring my expertise and enthusiasm to the Nipissing Council. Together, we can work towards a brighter future for our families and community. Thank you for your consideration of my application and look forward to the opportunity to serve my community.
Thanks, Melanie. Excuse me, Councilor Scott.
Will you be able to juggle your hours between work and council?
Yeah, absolutely. Luckily, I work for a great organization that helps support community involvement, as you can see through some of the initiatives that we've already done. Our president is also a member of the Nipissing. He's a resident, so hopefully he supports that as well. But I am kind of well supported. My husband has supported me through my ventures, my career development and personal development. So again, we've had this conversation of how we would manage this. And again, it's important to contribute the time that we have and find that balance and give back to our community when we can.
Thank you. So you have lots of experience volunteering outside the community, outside the township. What would it look like, and what kind of volunteer activities would you take on or try to be part of moving forward?
I think, again, there's a whole bunch of different committees, and there's a vacant position right now through the cemetery, last time I checked through the website. So again, it's really where I'm needed. I think, again, having the girls and my husband involved will be great to, again, just continue developing that skill set in them and understanding what's important for ourselves and the community. So I think, again, it's just where am I needed? How can I contribute? Whether it be doing dishes or doing a bottle drive or however, I'm happy to put in the time.
So what do you see as our biggest challenge?
As a township, I think without having the complete ins and outs of where everything stands right now, but what I'll say is based off the feedback of the survey, to me, it will be a challenge, but I think it's a huge advantage to really understand what the residents want and try to hone into how can we make that happen. A lot of the stats from the survey was like a larger, an older age demographic that was again completing the survey. So it'd be great to reach out to the younger groups to see how we can get them involved again, keep our community thriving and try to get away from any kind of vandalism or boredness or any of that aspect. So again, we'll always have challenges, but I think there's a lot of opportunities overall. And it's just understanding where we can leverage that and bring value to all of the residents.
Thank you.
What would you consider key performance indicators over the next 2 years, should you be selected?
You can do tons. You can absolutely do some from an asset management standpoint to really understand inform your capital needs and your equipment and again, if you're running to failure. So there's a huge aspect of that from a monetary financial aspect that you can do from the KPI perspective. You can also do from a customer service aspect. Huge again about what do we want from a community, how can we help support. You can also do KPIs from a safety perspective. Obviously, number one importance, I would say, from that aspect, safety first, and obviously supporting the volunteers that perform that. So I can go in details, of course, of specific KPIs. I just think it's important to have some KPIs identified in all those different buckets to make sure that you're looking at the proper aspects and making sure that you're addressing concerns when you're not meeting that KPI.
What do you cherish most about our community?
I think it's beautiful. I think in nature and in neighborhood hospitality, I think we work together when it's needed, and that's something I definitely want as if I'm successful in it as a council member. I think again, I want to support those in need, meaning like the senior demographics, those widows, the ones who don't get out much. Maybe there's an opportunity for us to share and maybe then reach out when they need their driveway plowed, some aspect of that. I think that's important is to help with those aspects. But yeah, I would say again, we have a lot of benefits in this organization or township.
Thank you.
Also organization.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's it. Thanks, Mark.
On Hughes.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, I stand before you today as a taxpayer and a part of a family that has been contributing to this community for generations. I'm also here as a candidate ready to serve this community. Nipissing is a community that I'm proud to call home and has been my home since I was a child. This is a community where my son is being raised. This community is part of my past, my present, and my future. I'm confident that I am not the only one who sees Nipissing Township as a truly special place. Our community is home to a diverse group of families, from young families just starting out to our senior and elderly residents. We all share a rich history here and continue to create new memories. One of my goals is for those memories to be positive for everyone. While Nipissing Township faces its own unique challenges, it is not alone in confronting difficulties. We must unite to tackle these challenges and work together to address what we can, ensuring that our community remains a place that residents want to stay or new residents want to move to. I believe that serving on council is not a position of power or authority, but a responsibility to advocate for the well-being of every resident. It's about actively listening to their concerns and working diligently to address them. Together, we can confront the critical issues that impact our community, from improving infrastructure and fostering economic development to promoting environmental sustainability and social equality. We must invest in our roads and public services to ensure that our town remains a place of opportunity for future generations. This is the future I want for my young son. In my current role as an operations superintendent with a neighboring township, I have gained a strong understanding of council operations and the complexities of budget management and process involved. I fully recognize the commitment and dedication needed to serve on the council and understand the crucial role it plays in representing the voices and concerns of our community. Another valuable asset I bring to the council is my experience with the fire department, a vital part of our township. I'm certified level 1 and level 2 firefighter with hands-on experience serving on various volunteer fire departments. The fact that I'm standing here today demonstrates my longstanding interest in serving on council and my commitment to our community. I was just 4 votes short of securing a seat in the last election, but even that close result reflects the voice of the people. Voices the council must continue to listen to and represent. As a long-term taxpayer, this was important to me while voting in our previous elections. As a council member, I will lead with integrity, transparency, and accountability. I will work closely with fellow council members, community leaders, and residents to make decisions that serve the best interest of our township. With my experience and dedication, I am confident that I am the best candidate for the Nipissing Township Council.
Councillor.
What do you see as our biggest success over the last 2.5 years for this term of council?
The biggest success, I would say in the last 2.5 years, we've seen a lot of development in the recreation department. And with kids soccer, there's becoming a lot of positive attention to the events from the community.
And if you, what would be, so when you, if you were to get on, what would be your give back to the community? Where would you put your biggest attention in volunteering or giving back?
I think the role of council is more geared, not necessarily towards the volunteering, as much as it is ensuring that the groups, the volunteer groups have what they need to be able to provide the services.
How would you handle conflict between team members?
The team members, or
Like council or volunteer groups, whatever you're on?
I think the biggest step with any conflict is just trying to get, you're not going to necessarily agree with people, but you have to try and see it from their perspective. And you have to try and, well, I guess both sides kind of have to try and see it from the other person's perspective and just try to work through it.
Councillor Scott.
I know you, I'm kind of, haven't had a great question, unfortunately. In your own words, describe the role of municipal staff and council and their relationship.
The municipal staff is responsible for the day-to-day operations. The council is overseeing, not micromanaging, but overseeing, trying to look at the big picture of everything, whereas the department heads all have their own departments to look after.
What skills and experiences do you have that you believe would be beneficial to you as a councillor?
So I think the skills comes mostly in my experience. I've worked in the heavy equipment construction industry for 20 years. Sounds like a lot when you say it out loud. And then with the municipality for the past 2.5 years, like I said, I've had the experience with the fire department. So I think seeing the big picture and sort of thinking outside the box is probably one of the greatest skills.
Thank you. Chris Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Pleased to once again be in front of you, presenting myself for council here. I believe, and the reason I continue to put myself forward is because I bring a different skill set than a lot of you have. I work in this community remotely for a global organization of over 5,000 people and lead multi-million-dollar budgets and technology implementations that are spanning the globe. Just this week, I've been speaking with people in South Korea, in China, and New Jersey, helping set up new ways to collect data and provide it and help improve our customer experience. And that's what I think is really missing in the township. I think there's a lot of things we can do with technology. We've heard tonight about wanting to keep our community close and well connected. But I believe using older methods, whether it's using a paper survey to collect information, having paper tax bills, things like that, I believe I can bring a lot of skill sets and ways that we can do it effectively, efficiently, to actually connect with the community and bring new things here. We've seen, heard tonight, there's a lot of new people in the community. We're Pilgers Road, Alsace Road up and down. There's for sale signs up and down. We've got the fiber optic coming in the next year. We're gonna have cell phone ubiquitous in 2026 across the township. And so I'm excited for what's coming, and we know that there is a lot of change coming, and I believe the fact that I'll be here for the next 50, 60 years of my life, God willing, and have been in the Powassan and greater area for most of my life. Growing up, I think I can combine both the old with the new, and improve that. So thank you.
Okay. So what do you cherish most about Nipissing?
I think Nipissing allows you to be who you want to be. I think there's the ability to hide out and sit and be in a little secluded place. But I mean, as we've heard, it's also a place where you can have community. You can go and find people, do basically anything that you want to do.
Sir Scott.
What would you say is this council's biggest accomplishment?
I mean, I think there's a lot of little accomplishments that happened. I think even just recently, the new council update that's being published on the website is another step towards the communications and things that I'm passionate about. I think that was a big win. I think there's a lot of things that we can continue to evolve these things, but I think this council has started in moving in the correct direction of that.
Councilor Bush.
I'm gonna be the mean one, and I'm gonna ask the question that's sitting out there, what's changed? Because in the recent past, we've sat in this room and you asked us all to quit, and you couldn't work with us and you asked us all to quit. So what's the difference between then and now?
I think you're misrepresenting what I suggested. I
Okay, so
suggested,
it was left, that was the impression that was left.
so what I had suggested, what I had said was, if you're unwilling to ask questions, if you're unwilling to change, then there are people willing. We've seen tonight, we had 6. Last time that councillor left, we had 8 people running, and there are people willing to step up in this community. And so it's not that I think anybody in particular is poor at their job. It's not that I think that there's something missing. What I do believe, though, is there are new ways and other ways to think and question and add to the community. So I don't think anything's changed.
What is your plan to address aging infrastructure and ensure long-term sustainability of roads and public spaces in our community?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would defer to our experts in that. I'm certainly not the roads guy. I mean, certainly you were a member of that ran our infrastructure that way. I know certainly Councillor Scott has extensive experience running in that way. And so I don't believe that's the skill set that I will most deeply contribute to. I'll certainly ask the questions, and I think I'll bring a perspective because I'm going to ask the stupid questions because I don't necessarily know those things. And I think that's a good thing to have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor Robinson.
I come in spot being laughed. Now I'm nervous, I wasn't, but. Here I am, council and staff. It's great to be standing for you again tonight. And put my name forward for the vacant council position. So I was here last time and talked about some things. I'm taking a little different, and I have a speech a little different approach and what I want to do this time based on the last 6 months of living in the community and volunteering happily. So I just would like to say that today we are facing some presented times with our Canadian dollars at the historic lows. Our economy is slowing to almost a halt. Our federal government is in turmoil. And our economy right now is being threatened by our US president-elect. Council and the township board never needs a person to fill the vacant position that has the knowledge, and experience. A person who understands municipal, provincial, and federal governance. A candidate who understands economies of scale and has a strong background in budgets, asset management, strategic plans, procurement, bylaws, procedural bylaws, code of conduct, and the relationship between council and staff. 6 candidates here tonight. I believe council should consider me as the next councillor for the remainder of this term. I have over 20 years' experience working as a senior manager in both small and medium-sized municipalities with both urban and rural settings. My current employer is a fire service specialist in the private sector, affords me to work with municipalities and fire services to provide consulting, training, and equipment sales. So I understand the financial pressures and the rising costs to municipalities today. I have the education, skills, knowledge, and experience to fill the position. I am honest, responsible, dedicated, and like I said, I presented to you 6 months ago, only for my name to be drawn in an elimination. Since that time, I've been appointed to the Museum Board Committee. I attend and volunteer for community events. I raise the second most amount in a live auction to have a pie in my face to raise money for the museum. Thank you, Mr. Mayor Young, for raising more than all the other people combined, but I did enjoy getting my pie in my face. I have volunteered and coached for the youth soccer league. I volunteer to collect empty beer and liquor cans for the recreation department to raise money, to help raise money for them. And I'm an active and respected member of the Nipissing Volunteer Fire Department. Thank you, and I hope you consider me to fill the next vacant council position.
Councilor Scott.
Will it be hard to juggle your work and council? Knowing, I think you're on the road a bit, so.
I am able to, you're right, I do have a travel position, but I write my own schedule. So I can schedule my work days and my out of town around council meetings.
Councilor.
Why come back to Nipissing?
I did answer this last time, but I will answer it again because so when I decided to retire from municipal fire service as senior management, I moved around. I went to Eastern Ontario, went to Southern Ontario. Both my wife and I decided to move back to Nipissing. We love this area. I have a lot of friends here. I like volunteering here. There's an opportunity for me to get back in the fire department here. And again, the community is a great community, and I think that I contribute a lot to it. I really enjoy living here.
What do you hope to accomplish as a council member?
I think some things that I thought about this a lot when I was putting my name forward. I really want to make sure that the council has a strong asset management plan, tie in like the roads need study. The question was already asked about how the aging infrastructure to make sure that, you know, in the future we have the funds available. So that would be my goal, is to work on the asset management plan. Sure, we have with the council and have a strong asset management plan.
Sometimes difficult circumstances and scenarios arise at council meetings that could affect your friends, neighbors. How do you handle these scenarios?
That's a great question, Mayor. So I like to think that my years of background in conflict management being a fire chief, fire department and working with councils, I'd like to usually just take things in. Listen, I don't react. I have the 1,000, count to 1,000 rule before I react. So I really think things through before I say things. A lot of times there's a reason why there's conflict. Sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's business. But I do believe that I have good conflict resolution skills, especially if I was sitting at the council table with both the council and residents.
You. So,
All members of council have a ballot in front of them. Make your selection.
Rob Serson. Lisa Talapanco. Rob Serson. Sean Hughes. So if the candidate receiving the greatest number of votes cast does not receive more than 1/2 of the votes of all voting members of council, candidates receiving 0 votes will automatically be eliminated from the voting process, and the vote will be repeated for the remaining candidates. Circulate another ballot. Council may vote for Sean Hughes, Lisa Talapanco, or Rob Serson. Lisa Talapanco, Sean Hughes, Rob Serson, and Rob Serson. In the event of a duplicate result of the first voting tally, each remaining candidate will be asked to answer a predetermined question by the head of council with a 3-minute time limit to answer, and then the vote will be repeated for the remaining candidates. Is there a question? I provided a list of some sample questions if there's any. Everybody has a number, a sheet, so you just select 1, 2, 3, or 4 and ask council if they would like that.
which one did you pick?
2. What we all,
Of the 4, no, it's one question that the mayor will ask of all the candidates.
number 2?
Mhm.
Number 2, please.
Okay.
That's right, it's your call, sir. So.
Slide number 3. Is that okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
So what we'll do is we will draw those 3 names. Those 3 names. So come to the podium for the question, please. Okay, first up, Lisa Talapanco, please.
Council works under a code of conduct that may be enforced by an integrity commissioner if required. Are you familiar with this policy and procedure?
Somewhat, yes.
Can you explain, please?
Sorry?
I'll get you to explain to us.
From what I understand is that when there is, conflict within the town or when there's an issue within town, and you cannot get a reasonable response or what can be viewed as a reasonable response, you can go to an integrity commissioner, which would be a third party to decide, kind of like a judge on fairness. And there's your integrity and accountability. You know, we need to have someone who oversees even council to make sure that we're accountable and fair to our constituents.
Thank
And
you.
that's how I understand.
Thank you.
That's enough.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Rob Searcy.
Same question. Do you
Same
want me to repeat or are you good?
No, I'm okay. So the code of conduct, starts with, in the council level, by respect. So there's chair of council, which is the head of council. So each council member has to respect that the chair of the council meeting. If there's conflict that comes up, there is a process. It's usually written in some type of procedural bylaw on how that is addressed. But there is, again, how you can request the integrity commissioner to review the actions of a certain council member if they violated the code of conduct against each other, a staff member or the head of council, or chair of the meeting that's taking place at that time.
Are you good with that question?
I'll get you to read it one more time. This one.
Okay. Council works under a code of conduct that may be enforced by an integrity commissioner if required. Are you familiar with this policy and procedure?
I'm not 100% familiar with it, I'm fairly familiar with it. The code of conduct the council has to follow is with the procedural bylaws, the confidentiality, talking with identifiable individuals, having meetings outside of meetings, and then the integrity commissioner can be brought in when the council member is stepping outside of the rules.
Thank you.
So we will cast the ballot one more time. Again, it is on the floor. Ron Hughes. Lisa Chalapenko. Rob Searcy. Lisa Chalapenko. So, in the event of a duplicate result to the previous two tallies, the clerk shall place the names of the candidates with the least amount of votes into a draw, and by drawing lots, select a name of one candidate to be removed from the process. This was not a duplicate result of what happened before. So we will have to do another vote to see if we come up with the same, and if we do, then we will move to removing the one name. Lisa Chalapenko. Lisa Chalapenko. Sean Hughes. And Rob Serson. So we will place Sean Hughes and Rob Serson. Draw. The first name selected will be eliminated, and then we will run the ballot one more time.
So
If you can get your hand out.
John Hughes.
You've been eliminated from the draw. We will run the ballot one more time. You may vote between Lisa Chalapenko and Rob Serson. Lisa Chalapenko. Rob Serson. Lisa Chalapenko. Lisa Chalapenko. Lisa, you are the successful candidate. Thank you.
I'd like to thank everybody that applied. Great candidates, please, in 2 years' time, we'd like you to apply. Everybody did a great job. We're well represented in this township. Thank you.
Lisa, we're gonna give you the oath of office right now.
I, Lisa Chalapenko, having been elected to the office of councillor in the township of Nipissing, do solemnly promise and declare that I will truly, faithfully, and impartially exercise this office to the best of my knowledge and ability. I have not received and will not receive any payment or reward or promise thereof for the exercise of this office in a biased, corrupt, or any other improper manner. I will disclose any pecuniary interest, direct or indirect, in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act. I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to His Majesty King Charles III. And I make this promise, solemn promise and declaration conscientiously believing it to be true and knowing that it is of the same force and effect as if made under oath, declared by me, Lisa Chalapenko.
Need a mover and a seconder. Councilor Foot. Scott. That we pass bylaw number 2024-59, being a bylaw to support the appointment of member of council. Lisa Chapa, appointed to the council of the township of Nipissing, read this first, second, and third time, and passed on the 19th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carried. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And the seconder. We passed bylaw number 2024-60, being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council at this meeting held on December 19th, 2024. Read this first, second, and third time and passed on the 19th day of December 2024. All in favor? Carried. Oh, I didn't see. Move over. In a second. Councillor Kirky, Councillor Scott. That the meeting be adjourned at 7:26 PM. Next regular meeting, January 7th, 2025. Thanks very much for everybody for applying. All in favor?